I'm sitting at my desk, sipping coffee, when a certified letter lands like a grenade, telling me the Pineview Estates HOA sold my 5,000 acres of pristine land, my land, called Willow Hollow, without a whisper of my consent, for a measly $100,000. Their president, Frank Walton, thought he could swipe it, forge a deed, and cash in, not knowing I, Ethan Caldwell, owned most of their neighborhood through quiet deals, and I'd turned their greedy stunt into a legal masterstroke, selling their whole subdivision to the state for a park. This wasn't just about getting my land back. It was about tearing down a corrupt little empire, brick by smug brick, and making sure they'd never forget who they crossed. This all went down last fall in Crestwood Valley, a sleepy corner of Oregon where the hills stretch wide, the rivers wind slow, and Pineview Estates sits with its neat rows of matching houses and lawns so green they look painted. I'm Ethan, 45, a real estate investor who plays the long game. Learned from years buying undervalued land and holding it tight. My sister, Lila, 42, a county clerk with a knack for sniffing out fraud, keeps me sharp. She's the one who'll spot a fake signature faster than I can pour a beer. I bought Willow Hollow, 5,000 acres of untouched forests and meadows, years ago as a legacy. Maybe for conservation, maybe a retreat, far from the buzz of developers. Pineview Estates, just over the ridge, was a newish development, all cookie-cutter homes and HOA rules about mailbox colors. I barely noticed their fussy newsletters, griping about untrimmed hedges, until Frank, mid-50s, all slick hair and sharper smirks, took over as president. He called one day, voice dripping with fake charm, asking to carve out a chunk of my land for a community picnic area. I shut him down, polite but firm, saying Willow Hollow's mine, not for sharing. His tone turned icy. Community matters, Ethan, like I'd failed some moral test. I brushed it off, thinking he was just another small-time boss. But that was my first mistake. Frank wasn't playing small. He was playing dirty, aiming to steal my land and flip it for millions. The trouble started slow. Surveyors I didn't hire poking around my fence line. Orange stakes popped up 50 feet inside my property, sketching out what looked like a golf course. I'd call the HOA. Get Frank smooth. Oh, just a mix-up, but the stakes kept coming. I slapped up no trespassing signs, had my lawyer, Sarah Kane, fire off a cease and desist, figuring that it ended. I was wrong. That letter hit like a sledgehammer. The county saying Pineview's HOA sold Willow Hollow to some outfit called Summit Ridge LLC for pocket change. Frank's signature scrawled on a quitclaim deed like he owned my land. My hands shook, coffee cold, rage boiling so hot I could barely see straight. 5,000 acres, worth maybe $50 million. Gone with a forged paper? I thought it was a typo, a clerk's error, but the parcel number, the map, it was all mine, stolen by a pack of suburban pirates who thought I'd roll over. I called Sarah, a lawyer so calm she could sue the hurricane, but even she paused. They sold your land? The HOA. Her voice cracked with disbelief, then sharpened. This is grand theft, Ethan. Summit's probably a front. I'm digging now. I wasn't waiting. I drove to Pineview, letter in hand, ready to see Frank's face when I called his bluff. Frank's house was a gaudy two-story. A Pineview Estates flag green with a tacky pine tree flapping like he was king. He's out front, fussing with a sprinkler, khakis too tight, smirking like he's expecting me. Back for that picnic spot? He quips, not even standing. I hold up the letter, voice steady but burning. Frank, explain this. Your HOA sold my 5,000 acres. His smirk widens, like he's proud. That's scrubland. We made it useful, Ethan. A fire hazard, dragging down our values. We're building condos, boosting the community. I'm stunned, not just at the lie, my land's no scrub, but at his gall. It's mine. Frank, legally mine. You forged a deed. He laughs, short and sharp, waving his hose. Possession's 9/10, pal. The deal's done. Progress, Ethan, you can't fight it. I step closer, voice low. You'll hear from my lawyer, and this is just the start. He shrugs, turning to his sprinkler, smug as ever, thinking he's won. I'm driving home, fists tight, not just mad but alive. Knowing Frank's picked the wrong fight, and he's got no clue I own the ground he's standing on. See, years ago, when Pineview's developer went bust, I scooped up 65% of its homes through LLCs, Cedar Grove Holdings, Pine Bluff Properties, half a dozen others, not to meddle, but to invest, renting them quietly through a management firm. keeping my name off the deeds. I didn't care about HOA politics, just steady returns. But as Frank's rules got nastier, fining folks for flower pots, banning kids' bikes, more owners sold. And my LLC's bought, discreet, no one connecting the dots. By the time Frank forged that deed, I owned his house, his board's houses, most of Pineview, and they were all my tenants. Playing homeowners in a game I could end with a vote. I call Sarah, tell her about my LLCs, and she's practically cackling. They're tenants. Ethan, they've got no board rights. This is a golden ticket. She's already pulling county records, tracing Summit to Frank's cousin, Roy Tate, a two-bit hustler with a trail of failed scams. I get my assistant, Nora, a data hound. To cross-check the board, Frank, Vice President Clara Vance, Treasurer Jim Holt, and members Ellen Marsh and Pete Dunn, all renters in my properties, none homeowners under HOA bylaws. This isn't just fraud, it's a sham, and I'm about to flip the board, evict them, and burn their little kingdom down. Sarah files an injunction to freeze Willow Hollow's sale, suing Frank, the board, Roy, and Summit for fraud, conspiracy, and damages, while I plan the real strike. HOA rules say board members must be homeowners, and my LLCs, with 65% voting power, can call a special meeting to boot them for being tenants and thieves. Nora finds lease clauses, misrepresentation, community harm, letting me evict them legally when their terms end soon. It's too perfect. They stole my land, thinking they're kings, not knowing they're squatting in my houses. We draft notices, my LLCs, Cedar Grove, Pine Bluff, naming proxies, led by my operations chief, Mia Reed, to vote them out. I set the meeting at a Crestwood hotel, not their clubhouse, keeping it cold, professional. Certified letters go out, demanding a vote to remove the board for fraud and ineligibility, copies hitting Frank's mailbox like a thunderclap. Sarah's digging shows Summit's a shell, funded by Jim, with Roy as a front, planning to flip my land for millions, splitting it with the board. I'm not just getting Willow Hollow back. I'm ending their game, and they're clueless how deep they're sunk. The meeting's a week away, and I'm buzzing, not with nerves, but with the thrill of a plan so tight it's like chess. Sarah's injunction lands, stopping Summit cold, the judge eyeing Frank's $100. 000 deal like it's a bad joke. Frank's quiet, no public rants, probably gagged by a shaky lawyer, but I know he's sweating. Nora's got every deed, every lease, ready to prove my LLC's own Pineview's soul. I tell Mia to keep it sharp, no gloating, just facts, let the bylaws do the work. The night before, Lila calls, saying, Ethan, you're rewriting their world. Be proud, but be ready, they'll lash out. She's right, but I'm not just fighting for me. It's for every neighbor fined for a flagpole, every kid told to stop chalking sidewalks, everyone under Frank's thumb. The meeting's my stage, and I'm not showing up. I'm orchestrating, letting Mia's proxies drop the hammer, knowing Frank's about to lose more than he ever dreamed. The hotel's packed, residents, curious and fed up, filling the sterile conference room. No Pineview clubhouse vibes here. Frank struts in with Clara, Jim, Ellen, and Pete, their lawyer. Some nervous guy named Fillmore, trailing like a lost puppy. Mia, cool as ice, opens with proxy forms, deed stacked, proving my LLCs hold 65% of the vote. Fillmore sputters about hostile takeovers, but Mia hands him the paperwork, daring him to argue. Frank's face goes gray, flipping pages, seeing his house, his boards, all mine. Mia moves to oust them, citing their tenant status, no homeowner rights under bylaws, and the Willow Hollow fraud, a gross betrayal. Frank leaps up. This is a travesty. We saved that land from blight. Mia doesn't blink. Mr. Waltman, you rent from Cedar Grove Holdings. You're no board member. None of you are. She lists their addresses, my LLCs, the room gasping as neighbors realize their leaders are fakes. The vote's a bloodbath, my 65%, plus most residents, over 80% to remove them. Mia's board, her, two allies, takes over, voiding the Willow Hollow deal, backing Sarah's lawsuit, ordering an audit. Frank's silent, Clara's teary, Jim's green, their lawyer shrinking. Then, as they shuffle out, my property manager, Greg Tate, steps up, voice like steel. Mr. Walton, Cedar Grove's not renewing your lease, nor Pine Bluff for Ms. Vance, Mr. Holt, Ms. Marsh, Mr. Dunn. 30 days to vacate. Frank's mouth flops, no words, just shock. Their homes, my homes, gone with their power. I'm at home. Mia's call painting the scene, and I'm grinning, not just for Willow Hollow, but for the sheer poetry of it. Frank, king of nothing. Evicted from my house. Sarah's lawsuit steamrolls, the new board handing over emails, minutes, proof Roy's a front, Summit a scam. The DA charges Frank, Jim, and Roy with fraud, conspiracy. Their pleas netting fines, probation, no board rolls ever. Summit folds, Willow Hollow's mine again, clear title, a bit infamous now. The audit shows years of HOA graft, fake fines, rigged votes, all void since tenants ran it. Residents cheer, free from Frank's rules, but I'm not done. Pineview's tainted, its HOA rotten, so I hatch the final play. Sell it all. My houses. Their clubhouse, Willow Hollow, to the state for a park. Mia and Sarah pitch it, consolidating my LLCs into a trust, offering the land to Oregon's Park Service to expand Clearwater State Park. With Pineview's homes as ranger lodges, visitor cabins, a learning hub. The state stunned but seized the prize. Willow Hollow's forests, Pineview's ready infrastructure. After a year, they buy it fair, renaming Pineview the Willow Hollow Gateway. No HOA, just public good. Homeowners take buyouts, happy to escape. A few lease back, free of Frank's shadow. The clubhouse, Frank's throne, now welcomes hikers, not fines. Frank's a clerk somewhere. His condo dreams dust. Clara's with a cousin. Jim's haggling movers. The rest scattered. Their reign a bad joke. Residents send notes, calling me Pineview's liberator, and I smile, not for fame, but for principle. Nobody steals my land, my neighbor's peace, and walks away. The audit's fallout sparks HOA reforms countywide. Boards checking tenant traps, scared of another Caldwell coup. I'm at the gateway, trails buzzing with kids, rangers in old HOA houses, Willow Hollow's river sparkling. Lila's with me, saying, "You didn't just win, Ethan, you changed the game." The clubhouse hums with maps, not rules, my land safe forever, a park for all. But as I walk, a rumor nags. Other HOAs, Frank's old pals. Scheming land grabs elsewhere. The state's solid, my trust's ironclad, but greed doesn't sleep. Will this park, this freedom hold? Tell me in the comments. Faced an HOA scam? What's your fight for justice? Like if this hit hard, subscribe for more. Out here, we learned one thing: own your ground, know the rules, and no thief's bold enough to outplay a patient hand.